I miss this music.
I know. We used to play this when we did our Tangent World watch-alongs.
Yeah, we take our breaks. And, this would be the music. It's perfect.
Yeah, I love it. So obviously you're listening to another edition of Tangent World. I'm Brad Reed.
I am Chip Goddard.
And we're here to talk about Castle Rock.
Episode 5.
Yeah, and obviously this is a show that we love because we stuck with it.
Yeah.
5 episodes in. And we're having a great time. It's one of my favorite shows right now.
I actually look forward to it every week. It's a great show.
Yeah, they got Sharp Objects is a show I'm watching right now. That's on HBO.
Yeah.
And of Castle Rock. I mean, those are the two that right now it's the doldrums of summer, it feels like. And so right now, those are the ones. That's what everybody that's watching this needs to be watching at least.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it.
You don't watch Sharp Objects?
Nope. Sharper Image or whatever you call it.
It's on HBO. It's got Amy Adams in it.
Oh yeah,
and it's a mystery kind of, but it's weird. It's weird. There's a lot of murder going on in some Missouri town. It feels kind of like a Stephen King-esque kind of movie or TV show too.
It sounds good. I need to watch it. I have a whole list of things. Oh yeah, the Ozarks. That's one.
Oh yeah, that's on Netflix. So and is the new season out yet?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh okay, I didn't know. I thought maybe it was coming out a little later, but
it was a coworker was telling me about it. So.
Yeah. So we want to know if you're watching Castle Rock, what you think about it. If you've got theories, comments, anything about the show. Mm-hmm. If you'd rather email it to us, you can do it at jestworld@gmail.com because that's the one we have set up for our Westworld reviews.
Yes.
But Tangent World encompasses anything.
Yes.
So we might talk about Castle Rock. We might talk philosophy.
Yeah.
We might not.
We might actually get into some pretty deep stuff on this one.
We should title this one Exploding Casket Syndrome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I actually looked it up, and they did a really good job of explaining it on the show. Yeah. Basically... we get these, coffins that we want grandma to, be preserved in.
Yeah.
But it really just becomes like you said, the show, a pressure cooker.
Right.
Just the gases and all that build up in there. And sometimes they just crack and leak out like they did in the show. Sometimes they actually get pretty violent.
I can't believe that really happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess most people don't know because they're not digging up old caskets.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to complain that it's happening to them.
Right. I'll be mad, though, if, you dig me up someday and I'm just a bunch of ooze.
Yeah, I mean, put you in a sarcophagus and wait long enough and people want to drink you. They'll pay tons of money to do it.
They are paying. How much money is that going for?
I saw something like $25,000 to drink a shot of this. This mummy juice.
Gross. That's gross. Well, this show is pretty good. It's been horrific, this episode, I thought.
There was a lot of crazy stuff. Old mom jumping off the bridge.
Yeah. I've got
as always, spoilers ahead.
Yeah, definitely spoilers.
So
we got that in the
I ruined that
the
one
thing
for
here.
you. Sorry.
Oh, did you? Well, you did. You did.
If they didn't want spoilers and they were listening in, and sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna kind of recap the episode.
Sure.
The one thing that I noticed though, it starts off with Henry Deaver, and he's the guy that he was adopted. His dad, it seems, took him out in the storm.
Yeah, his dad was the town minister, Reverend,
and he the mystery was what happened to him because when he came back, he had no memory.
No memory. It took he was lost for 11 days.
So that's been like the main storyline. As he's an adult now, he comes back home and all the stuff that revolves around that. But last week we ended or was it the end of last week where the guard is going on his killing spree?
Yeah, he went through and just killed all the other guards.
Yeah,
or most of them, and then he just turned to the Henry and he said, "Hey, I'd like to testify," and then boom, got blown away.
Yeah, so Deaver gets his eardrum blown out or something. I don't know if it's that bad, but he's been getting headaches now in this episode. Well, and maybe they said tinnitus.
Well, when he was talking to the doctor, he said that he'd been having it since he was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably around the time that he came back.
Right. So yeah, and maybe this made it worse because they were giving him an MRI and all this. So, but I think he's got a little bit of PTSD too with the way that he's acting.
I mean, that would make sense. That would be a plausible thing.
Yeah. And I also think that he might be the son of Morgan Freeman's character from Shawshank Redemption because he was very, the way he talks, he's got like almost the same kind of speech pattern and cadence and all that. So that's one of my theories, and we'll get to some more theories coming up. But you actually had one about the kid and who his dad might be.
I'm thinking, well, since we know now that the mom had been having an affair with Pangborn.
Yeah.
And he even said in this episode that he proposed in 1991, which was the same year that the Reverend died.
Right.
So that leads me to believe that it had been like an ongoing affair.
Yeah.
And I mean, if one's doing it, both are doing it in a happy relationship, kind of like that.
Right.
So it wouldn't be any surprise for the Reverend to have a child outside.
So you think it's Reverend, did you say his name is William?
Matthew.
Okay, yeah. And you think that maybe he is the father of the kid now who has been referred to several times as the devil.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was while we were watching the episode. I know now, because of the ending,
right,
that the kid hadn't aged in 25 to 27 years since Pangborn found him in the trunk of the car of the warden.
Yeah, which was a big revelation in this episode.
So that's already blown out.
Yeah.
But, it was fun to think about while it was happening.
Right. One of the things that I noticed was Terry O'Quinn's character, the warden, who in the first episode we see commits a really gnarly suicide.
Oh, man.
And
what a really cool way to go.
No,
not at all.
But
Ugh.
I was thinking already maybe there was some weird extenuating circumstances, and turns out there's a scene where he's talking to the kid again, in a flashback, because that's what they've been doing with him, and he touches his face.
He touches his hand and then touches his face.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so, like, every time the kid has touched somebody or they've touched him, something bad has happened.
They actually make a deal, a point to have him pull off a glove before he touches his hand.
Right.
So it's very, very much intentional.
We did notice the Easter egg. Yeah, the M Strand Company, and one of the
sign
catchphrases.
Yeah, it says "Live like a king," and then it has a little picture of a castle. So, every time Stephen King writes himself into a story, he has some reference to kingliness.
It's funny. I've never really noticed that Stephen King had written himself into any of the stories.
Oh yeah, definitely in The Dark Tower. Which is one of my favorite.
The Dark Tower is kind of meta, right?
It's totally meta. The main character Roland, who was played by Idris Elba in the movie, hates Stephen King.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, I get to meet my God, and this is you."
Yeah.
I don't even like you.
Yeah, I didn't get too far into all of the Dark Tower stuff, but I know you're a big fan.
Yeah,
and you're
absolutely.
kind of our expert.
Oh, I'm not an expert by any means. There's classes now taught on Stephen King.
Oh my gosh,
I would love to enroll in something like that.
Yeah, did you ever read his book on writing? I think it was what it was called.
No, not the book. I've read stuff out of it, little excerpts.
Right.
Basically, the best advice was write a page a day.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a master class on how to write a book, right?
And
his
he
experience.
is the master.
Yeah, I would love to write a book like Stephen King. One of the, one of the most horrific scenes of this episode starts with, I believe it was Little Orphan Annie singing a song.
Not Little Orphan Annie. It was
Shirley Temple?
Shirley Temple, the animal crackers in my soup.
Oh, okay.
But she played an orphan in that whatever.
Oh, okay.
She was adopted by that rich old man.
Got you. Yeah.
It had the slightly racist like undertones, the black butler. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that the Annie movie? No, that was too. Shirley Temple was.
Wait, I might be confusing those.
Yeah, you might be.
Shirley Temple, yeah.
I thought she played Annie, but then I thought that maybe another person. I don't know. Anyway, I'm seeing all these little orange-headed mop tops like you over here.
I know. Us gingers.
Yeah. So, but it started off like kind of a song we've all heard from our childhood, and it centers around this family and the kid. He shows up at this house that I believe could have been.
Do we actually ever even see the parents? We just see the kid.
Yeah, we don't really see the parents.
We see hands and stuff.
Yeah. I think that this is the house maybe he grew up in, but he doesn't have any memory, so I don't know why he walked up to this house in particular.
Well, I mean, they kind of led you to believe that this might be a memory that he's having because the doctor was saying that if you put him back into a familiar environment, it might start coming back to him.
Yeah, that's true.
But he
doesn't even know his name yet, does he? So how would he know where he lived?
I mean, he knows more than when he's letting on because
he does, yeah,
because he was talking to
Pangborn
here at the end.
Yeah, so
he totally walks into this house and just sits down in a bedroom, and he's totally in line of sight of the whole family. So. Another thing that kind of makes you think that might... And just thought of this. We didn't get to see the parents' faces because he might not be able to remember his parents' faces.
Right. So you still think that was a memory instead of...
It's a possibility.
Something that actually happened. Because what was crazy about it was, as he's sitting there... The family goes from having a birthday party,
a very happy, nice birthday party,
to basically tearing each other to shreds. But you never see it.
Yeah,
you only hear it. It was I loved how they did it because it was so suspenseful and chilling, horrific. But you didn't even see anything.
It totally had an Alfred Hitchcock feel to it because it's all left up to the viewer.
Right, and then the thing I thought about that was he doesn't have to touch people. He can just be close to them, unless it was a memory.
Well, yeah, I mean, it might just be, more severe if they touch him.
Right.
But, nothing happened to... And you were telling me about this earlier. Nothing happened to anybody that maybe has The Shining.
Well, that's one of my theories, yes, that we'll get to here in a minute. But, I just think that was so Stephen King... Because it's so, with the family violence.
Yeah.
It's always, I believe in 11/22/63, there was several different scenes where a family's getting attacked by a loved one or a former boyfriend. And it just kind of highlights the horrible things that people do to each other instead of supernatural beings or anything like that, which The Shining.
Yeah.
I mean, and which the Shining now, we talked about the Shawshank Redemption and how much of a sequel this is to that.
Well, I guess I'll look it up here because it's pretty easy to find. But there's a Stephen King quote that says, there are monsters and they are us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. The cool thing was we found out, I mean, I guess we could have really Wikipedia'd this at some point, but Jackie Torrance, who we did know that she was... a Torrance, but we didn't know to what extent. But she says in this episode, she has an Uncle Jack who went crazy and killed his family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, we all know that's The Shining. And her name was Diane or something like that, but she took the name Jackie to kind of piss off her mom and dad.
And right before she was talking about that, she was talking about how awesome the 80s were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what year was The Shining made? Was it 78?
I would say that had to be in the 70s.
Yeah.
Late 70s. But so that makes her Danny Torrance, who's a little kid and then grows up to be in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a movie.
With Ewan McGregor and...
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's going to play him. Awesome. That is cool.
They put together a really good cast.
Right.
I don't know anybody else off the top of my head, but I remember seeing it and being like, oh, that's amazing.
So the reason that I think that the evil effects that, and I'm not even sure that the kid is the devil or evil. Mm-hmm. He just might be like a lightning rod for it.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that because you can see it on this. She's laying in his bed,
Right.
So I mean, how close is that to somebody?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, your scent is in your bed, your everything.
Right.
Your
So she didn't end up jumping off or anything,
Right.
but like a building or offing herself like other people did.
But I mean, I'm also going to say this: she's also a little more well adjusted than the other residents of Castle Rock. It seems like everybody else, and you know, the guard even talked about it, that the town is poison.
Right.
The town, you know, it has a way of like bringing out the worst in people.
Right. Well, we know that Molly has The Shining.
Right.
Whether they call it The Shining or not, we know
Right.
she has it. I don't think Henry Devers does, but I think that she's protecting him somehow with her Shining.
Right. I can see that.
And I think Jackie does have The Shining. Maybe she doesn't know it. And maybe it's just deep down inside, like the Force.
Yeah.
But I think she does, and I think that's why when they're interacting with him, they don't get all that negativity thrown at them.
Yeah. I won't go crazy into detail because I probably spent 20 minutes telling you about it earlier. But in several other Stephen King books, there's this concept of like 3 different possibilities. There's it's in a good and evil. It's, you know, the natural, the random, and then those that are like neither.
Right.
And, you know, and that includes your whole life and your death.
Yeah.
And it all serves essentially fate. And what is considered evil.
Oh, I'm not showing you this.
Oh, okay. It's like, and what is considered evil is more or less part of the random.
Gotcha. Well, I think that I wonder anyway, and you can answer this question, but I think that Stephen King has done a great job of building like universes and worlds.
Oh yeah.
And so who's done a better job, him or like George Lucas?
Sheer volume, Stephen King.
Yeah.
I mean, he sells books by the pound. Now, extended universe, like where George Lucas gets all the awesome Star Wars authors that are out there, like Timothy Zahn and all that. Oh, for sure. Then Star Wars all the way.
We did see a barking dog that kind of totally reminded me of Cujo, which took place in Castle Rock. It was either in Castle Rock or somewhere real close to it. And then the other thing that we saw with the scene with Jackie Torrance and a naked
Bill Skarsgård.
Which why?
We gotta see some Bill Booty.
But we saw afterwards that he had like a model of Castle Rock, and he had carved out a soap, like a person on a bridge,
silhouette of somebody on the bridge.
Right.
And I do believe that was a reference to Cujo, but I also think that could have just been, you know, the dog feeling the effects of
the evil
Bill
of the town. Yeah, you could be right, or just kind of being alert that something isn't right,
out of the normal.
Yeah, you could totally, and I think it maybe even could be both.
Yeah. Again, in Insomnia, where the random and all that comes up, one of the main creatures that notices all that is a stray neighborhood dog.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the way that we see Sissy Spacek get up on the bridge and jump off reminded me of a little video I saw this week of somebody pushing a chick off the bridge.
I would kill you. I would wait and get out of the hospital and go through all my physical therapy and rehab, and then I would kill you.
I think that would be warranted.
Something we totally didn't talk about.
Right.
When Sissy Spacek was having one of her episodes in the evening, and she was, you know, the Bill Pangborn comes up behind her and kind of startles her, and she says, "He's already got a fever. You can't be taking him out in this weather, in this cold." That was I feel like that was her, you know, remembering the night that he went out and you know, disappeared and died.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
because if I think this is correct, I'll have to go back and rewatch. But Molly was at home sick.
She was
when all that happened, and if she channels him, then
Yeah, I think she did channel him because she was breathing.
Yeah.
And it was cold, and she was keeping it under her blanket so no one would know. So, yeah, Derek Sharps joined us. Derek, are you watching Castle Rock? We'd love to know what you think. If you've got theories about what's going on, the mystery of Henry Devers, the kid. Who is the kid still? We don't know.
Derek's one of the artists down at our sponsor this week.
Yeah, No Regrets Tattoo. They're in the Plaza District.
On 16th Street. Go on down. They have a number up there on the ad.
Yeah.
But it's easier to go in.
It's not going to do you a lot of good to call the number. We're not going to lie to you.
Yeah, Derek, Travis, Ashley, Nate. All really good. Well, I was going to say fellas, but Ashley's not a fella.
No, Viking Ashley.
Really good people.
Yeah, yeah, they are, and they do a great job. So they're in the Plaza District there on 16th and Gatewood.
Yes.
So just go down there and get go look at their books and then get on their calendar because you can call, but they're usually doing tattoos.
Yeah.
So they don't answer very much.
Nope. But while you're down there, grab some food at some of the local places. There are some really good spots.
Oh yeah, I like the press. I'm pretty happy with them most of the time.
I love the Oak and Ore. They got a great banh mi sandwich, and you know me, I love that banh mi.
Yeah. Sissy Spacek had a great line in this show when they're talking kind of about her. Don't even know that they were talking about it specifically, but she's got it's night timers or what's it called?
Alzheimer's.
I know it's Alzheimer's, but she has the one where it's worse at night.
Sundowners.
That's right. And she says, "Don't forget your own story."
Yeah. Oh, what a horrible I can't watch movies like Memento and things like that because it deals with memory issues, and that's a nightmare.
That would be bad. Like is it worse that I think it'd be worse if you could remember and you can't do stuff that you used to, as opposed to you just can't remember when you used to be able to do that kind of stuff.
But I mean, when it's different. Like if you get brain damage and then you can remember being fully functional,
right?
That would just you'd be like a nightmare kind of thing. But if you're slowly erasing, because people with Alzheimer's, they remember the oldest stuff first, or they forget the newest stuff first.
Right.
So you're just slowly disappearing. Ugh.
Derek says he hasn't started it yet, but he was just watching to see our pretty faces.
Oh man, I am the cute one.
Same, Derek. Yeah, Chip is the good-looking one. I just have the sexy voice.
Yeah.
We did get to see some more of Molly when she finds Bill, and he's up standing on the roof. And she's basically able to hear what he's doing. Like he's sitting there listening to all the bad thoughts.
Yeah, he's like a magnet for the like you were saying like an antenna. He's like pulling in all the negative energy of the town, and or amplifying it.
Right, and so she doesn't trust him now because she thinks either something's wrong with him or he's causing it. That's what we just don't know, whether he's this is causal, these things that everybody's doing because of him. We don't know. I mean, or he just is in tune with it.
If the whole town is evil, and he's drawn it in, maybe it just amplifies. It's directional.
Right. But I think Molly somehow is protecting Henry Devers from him. I think that's what's going on.
And she had to prove today that to Henry, or today in this episode, that that she had this the shining to him. She pretty much listed out his entire thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see what else. Pangborn. This is what pretty much wrapped everything up this week.
Oh man, yeah.
Pangborn, because going back to her Sundowners, Devers went ahead and installed all these cameras and an alert for when somebody's in the house. So, and of course, Pangborn, he lives there. He's shacking up with his mama. So,
which they also explain. He gets a call one day when he's early. Soon retired.
Right.
And that there was gunfire at the old Deaver place. And he goes up there and she, it was obvious she probably got confused and shot at something that wasn't.
Right. Like it was starting to kind of creep in at that point. Right.
And I'm sure that, that's terrifying to be going through.
Yeah.
And he said she just wrapped her arms around him and asked him never to leave, and he never did.
Yeah, he finally got his shot with this lady he was in love with.
Oh, man. I don't know if I can wait 30 years.
I know, but you never know.
That's why I'll never go to Austin.
You never know, Chip. That one that got away may just come back.
Maybe.
After she's desperate.
Yeah, right?
So,
that's me. That's what they call me, old bronze medal Chip.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's good. That's pretty funny. So, anyway, Pangborn sees the devil kid, basically, in his house on the phone and comes home to confront him because, as it turns out, he stops the warden the night that he's, I guess, transporting him to maybe the cage or to the underground, wherever, that, you know, in the Shawshank. But we don't know exactly where they were off to at that point. But he could have stopped it. But the warden, you know, basically said, "Trust me on this.
Yeah.
I've got to do this." So he lets him go.
Yeah, he says, you know, I saw your face that day. You know, it was, I think he said like 27 years ago.
Yeah.
And hadn't changed a bit.
Right.
Says, I can't remember my dead wife's face, but your face is burned into my memories, into my dreams.
He said that he had the devil in his trunk.
Yeah.
So somehow these people already are familiar with, and he does say, "Listen, I saw you all these years ago. You haven't aged a day, Rip Van Winkle."
Well, one of my favorite things, you know, that Pangborn said in this whole episode was, you live in a town like Castle Rock long enough. When somebody tells you you got the devil in the trunk, you take him. You take a minute.
Yeah, that's true, because everything's just so crazy. Yeah. So, and then we kind of it ends with this standoff between him and the kid.
Yeah, but the kid was also saying that he could help.
Yeah, he could help the mom,
and that he. I mean, this is probably the most like articulate he's been the whole series. He says, you have no idea what's going on, do you?
Yeah, that was so chilling when he said that, because you're right, he's been like all kind of creepy, and look at his eyes if you're watching the video. Look at how big his eyes are there. Oh, so creepy.
And they make him so bloodshot, but it's awesome.
Yeah, and so
what a great show.
When he delivers that line, it's very calculated.
Man, I got a lot of pickup tonight.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure.
Am I talking too hard?
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that mic.
It's never been an issue for me.
Yeah. Well, these mics are tricky.
I'm sorry, this doesn't normally happen.
It's all good. It's live, baby.
Right.
So anyway, that's what ended the show. Like on that little scene, and like I said, the most horrific part definitely was the scene with the family and the birthday party. That was hard to watch in a way, but also really awesome the way they did it.
It was terrifying, and it was absolutely gore-free. Like, not a single drop of blood.
Right. They didn't have to spend hardly any money on that, and got the horrific image in your head either way.
Yeah.
So they inceptioned us. So anyway, so we've covered the show, and we also covered a lot of our theories. Did you have any more theories you were thinking of as you watched it?
At the moment.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of,
We definitely want to hear your theories, though. Send them to us, jestworld@gmail.com. Like I say, it houses everything.
Yeah.
Tangent World is a product of that.
Yeah.
Whatever we do after this will be we'll house it all there. We're on YouTube, Spreaker, Apple iTunes podcast, so you can listen to our podcast anytime.
YouTube.
Yeah. So please send us your thoughts and your prayers. No, your thoughts and your theories.
Yes, thoughts and prayers.
And that wraps it up.
Well, and for a $1 donation, we can make all your dreams come true.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Who do they donate to?
Don't send us money.
Yeah. So, we got to, before we go, Chip.
We already turned our music on.
Well, that's a good thing it's on a loop. I did want to mention a couple of movies that are in theaters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, coming out this weekend, Black Klansman. That's like the big one.
Black Klansman, that's with the triple K?
Yeah. And it's got a crazy 97% Rotten Tomatoes already.
So interesting. I don't know if you read this article, but or an article like this, but David Duke,
right?
He apparently tried to get a hold of Spike Lee. It's like, hey, I've been a big fan of yours. I just want to make sure and also the former undercover guy
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
really based on. I just want to make sure you don't make me look like an idiot. I was like,
Too late.
Just because of this, I got to watch it. It's just
Yeah.
like that Sacha Baron Cohen show.
Yeah,
It just makes politicians look stupid.
If you were thinking about going to see The Meg, which also came out this weekend, 49% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I love Jason Statham.
I heard it wasn't very good, though. Right now, the top grossing movie at the box office is Mission Impossible, the latest one.
Which one is this? Mission Impossible, like 8?
Yeah, I think it's got to be at least 5, right?
I missed Mission Impossible 3 when it was just meh. 3 eyes.
This
4
one's
eyes.
Mission Impossible Fallout, and it's already made $35.4 million, and it's got a 97%.
That's
Rotten
amazing.
Tomatoes.
I've actually heard really good things about it.
Yeah.
But man, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. It's that middle tooth.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't. Another movie that's out right now, it's made $24.6 million so far. Christopher Robin. Were you ever a Winnie the Pooh guy?
Oh, I've heard it's heartbreaking. It's totally on my list of things to see.
Yeah, I got to watch it too. I haven't seen it yet,
It's
but
like nostalgia porn.
yeah. DVD right now, Deadpool 2. That's the big one. I think
great.
everybody needs to go rent and watch.
That's great.
So, and then any TV shows right now, the most popular, Castle Rock, 86%.
That's why we've got such a big audience.
Yeah, and then second, Sharp Objects, and oh my gosh, Cobra Kai has 100%. I don't know, that can't be the Rotten Tomatoes.
Are we gonna have to do Cobra Kai?
Yeah, it's 100% fresh.
That's awesome.
I watched the
I
first
would
couple
eat that
episodes
tomato.
and I really did like it, so I'm gonna watch it. I gotta watch it.
That's awesome.
I just didn't want to because it's like YouTube only. Like you have to sign up for that. But,
yeah.
you know,
I can show you how.
I'm sure you can. All right, that does wrap it up for today.
All right. Well, y'all have a good evening.
Yeah, for Chip Goddard, I'm Brad Reed. This has been Tangent World.
Good night.